Singing is the lowest form of communication.
Maria Callas said to sing is an expression of your being. Edith Piaf said singing was a way of escaping. And yes, Homer, the other Homer, said it was the lowest form of communication. What do you think? Why do we sing? Where does the voice come from? My name is Karen Myatt, and I pose these questions and more to some of the greatest singers of our time. Welcome to La Voce Vita. I am so excited to welcome today's guest. She is a multi-instrumentalist, a multi-genre vocalist and composer. She hosted the 2022 Maple Blues Awards and won two of them. She's appeared on blues and jazz festivals across the globe. And in 2023, she won the Juno Award for Blues Album of the Year. It is my pleasure to welcome Angelique Francis. Angelique, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me.
So I've had a lot of fun listening to your music over the last little while and discovering your music, especially since you're a Canadian artist. And I noticed in your Juno Award acceptance speech that maybe your music and your work might be a bit of a family affair. You mentioned making that album with your dad out of your home. So perhaps a good place to start would be with a bit of your origin story. Where are you originally from and how did you get started in music?
Oh, well, thank you so much, Karen. I'm so glad that you appreciate and enjoy our new music. Yes, it is very much a family affair. I come in many different iterations when I perform, and the Angelique Francis band at its core is family. And so on the album, on the last one, and on my one that won the Juno as well, Long River and Not Defeated, I've had my family members play on it as well. So it's four sisters and my dad. My sisters, Kira Francis, she plays trombone, backing vocals, and keys, as well as some trumpet on the album. Corinthia Francis plays saxophone, so alto sax, tenor sax, bari sax, and backing vocals. And my sister Kayla Francis also joins along on backing vocals, as well as playing percussion and trumpet during our live performances. My father, Kiran Francis, he produces, does the mixing and mastering with me, and he's on drums as well as backing vocals. And then as well on the album, we have some other amazing individuals such as Dave Williamson on electric guitar. We also have features from Grammy Award winner Christone Kingfish Ingram, a Grammy nominee Eric Gales, and trumpet players Ed Lister and Andrew Knox.
Okay, I had no idea it was that much of a family affair. Incredible. That must be a lot of fun. Is it fun? Is it a challenge? How is that for you?
It's so much fun.
Yeah.
It's so much fun, especially when you tour as often as we do. We never miss home because home is always on the road with us.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. That's a beautiful thing. So I'm sure somebody like your dad was a major influence for you growing up and your siblings as well. But who were some of your major influences as a young person, especially as a vocalist?
Yeah, certainly. Um, so I have many different influences for many different aspects of my musicality. And when it comes to vocals, there's so many different styles that I draw influence from because I am so inspired by blues, but also the genres that it helped to inspire and create. And so for blues, I'm very influenced by Coco Taylor, Big Mama Thornton, Aretha Franklin, Etta James, but I'm also inspired by different jazz vocalists as well. Well, Etta James was a triple threat with soul, jazz, and blues. Ella Fitzgerald, um, Billie Holiday, and many, many others.
Yeah, well, you know what? You can hear all of that in your music, in your voice, but also in your delivery and your performance. I hear Sister Rosetta Thorpe, Bessie Smith, even, yeah, Aretha. And when it comes to guitar, I'm getting like Santana vibes here and there as well.
Thank you.
It's really cool. It's my favorite thing is this kind of fusion sound. Okay, so when I listen to you, obviously there's a big throwback. It's almost an education in the history of the blues because you hear the origins of the blues all the way up to a new sort of fusion, modern, contemporary style. So through all of those influences, you have found your own sound. So was there ever a time when you were mimicking these singers and you found it challenging to find your own voice?
Thank you so much for your kind comments. I really appreciate that. I That is definitely something that I think about a lot when I make my music. I am very inspired by many different aspects of the blues, and that you were able to hear sort of like an educational aspect to what I'm doing. That is definitely one of the core goals and values that I have, especially as you often hear keeping the blues alive. We have to continue on these traditions, and how there are a lot of people who are younger who may not have been exposed to this music or even aware of what it is. And I think that the blues is alive and well, but people just may not be able to hear those influences in the genres that they know and love today. And so, as blues is at the root of all modern North American music, you can hear it in pop and jazz and soul and funk and all of these other genres. And so, what we like to do is we like to showcase all of these different subgenres of the blues, like Delta blues and soul blues and New Orleans blues and Memphis soul and all of these other things, and combine them with the genres that blues helped to create in order to showcase where those influences have come from, but also expand upon the art form as well. So when I listen to all of these amazing musicians, classic musicians from the past, I wasn't really finding it challenging to find my voice, but I was more so inspired to create and find my own sound. I tried and failed. I tried to know avail. I was so lost within myself. That I refused all the help. I let myself be drowned. Oh, I didn't want to come around. But now I see the light, and I must stand up and fight.
Multi-instrumentalist. I'd like to know, like, did you start as a singer? Were you first on the guitar? You played bass, harmonica? I'm sure there's more. Enlighten me.
Thank you very much. Yes, I actually started off as a songwriter. Uh, Writing music was my way of processing the world around me when I was younger. It's such a fantastic medium for that, for storytelling, for communicating with other people. And I felt such a deep connection to this music, and I felt like it has such a unique way of connecting with people beyond words that was really meaningful to me. And from there on, I started singing and performing, and I got my opportunity to perform for the first time at a televised event when I was 7 years old. And I knew from that moment that that is something that I wanted to do for the rest of my life in whatever capacity. And from that point, my parents were very supportive, but they, obviously had some worries about, they wanted to give me as many opportunities as possible. And so they set down some ground rules. They said, first, well, you have to maintain an A average in school. You also have to make sure you have something to fall back on, and that you learn an instrument. And so the first instrument you have to learn is piano. The second musician you have to learn is guitar. And then after that, you can pick any instrument you want. And of course, me and my sisters, hearing that, we chose the biggest instruments that we can find. And so from then on, I picked up the upright bass. And I also play many other instruments as well. On the album, specifically, the last one that came out, Not Defeated, I play many different instruments such as upright bass, acoustic guitar, harmonica, matchbox guitar, lap steel guitar, the keytar, and various other percussion instruments, keys, organ, and so on.
Wow. Okay, so that's incredible. I was wondering if you actually played all of those on the album, so you answered that question for me. So that'll take me then to my next question was, when you transfer this recorded music to the stage, what instruments are you going to take onto the stage with you? And you're going to have to dole out the other parts to other people, of course. So what's your main instrument when you play live?
Well, when I play live, my main instruments are upright bass, electric bass, acoustic guitar, and harmonica. Sometimes I bring the electric guitar as well. It really just depends on how much space we have in the tour van.
Right, right. So your songwriting, going back to that, actually, it's the lyrics that caught me first and foremost, because you have quite a few cheeky lyrics in there, this classic blues, twists and turns. I mean, anybody who writes a song called Snow Rage is like, it is the most Canadian song ever. Like, really good. I'm going to be pulling that out this winter.
This one goes out to the snow plow driver. If I catch you, gotta help you. 'Cause when I catch you, I'm gonna whoop you. So bad I'll make you call me a mama. I'm outside, it's -50 degrees. I'm shoveling snow, I'm -50 degrees. I can't move because my toes just freeze, and my breasts, they shrivel up like frozen peas, and I can't feel my fingers, can't feel my toes, ice or confirmation, y'all, hanging from my nose. Now I'm in rage, I'm in rage, I'm so enraged, like a wild animal inside of a cage. I'm in rage, I'm in rage, I'm so enraged.
So when you're writing, what comes first? Do the lyrics come first? Do you start on the piano? Is it a bass line, a groove, a beat? What's your songwriting process like?
Well, it varies. I'm inspired by so many different things, and it's not just, my own life experiences, but it's also things I read about, a movie I may watch, stories from other people that I meet along my travels. And so sometimes I'm inspired to have a specific topic in mind, and then I start writing about it and then add the music later. But sometimes it's the groove that comes to me first when I'm playing one of my instruments, or I'm having a dream and something pops into my head. And I also make a point about experimenting with different processes, because you get different kinds of results, you get different kind of feelings out of it. And so it varies. Sometimes I start with the instrument, sometimes I start with the melody, sometimes I start with the lyrics.
Okay. And is it a solo process, or are you collaborating with your bandmates when you're writing? and family.
Yeah, for different aspects. So sometimes it's just a solo process. I write the songs myself. More of the introspective, acoustic guitar focused ones often start like that. I started off as a singer-songwriter type format as a solo performer before I was with my band. So a lot of the things come like that. So like We're Over, Right as Rain, Long River, those all started as songs that I did as a solo performer first. A lot of these songs I've been playing for many years, but never actually got the opportunity to go into the studio to perform them. And so over the years, they gradually build into something new. Sometimes it's the audience and their reactions that inspire us to have the current development of the song as it is. And then sometimes, well, a lot of the times, me and my father co-write. And when it comes to the horn arrangements, oftentimes my sisters will collaborate on those elements as well.
Mhm. Absolutely. That's the best way to do it. You know, I'm just learning that in my own music right now. I keep saying to my bandmates, like, should we be playing these songs? Like, they're going to be on the next album. But the more we play them in all these different kind of scenarios, the more the song speaks to you and develops further. So it's a
Hmm.
really interesting creative process that way to let the song walk into the room, right? I think Bono said that the song just walks into the room. It's kind of a thing of its own. So we're getting a
Great
bit,
line.
yeah, we're getting a bit more abstract with that, which means it's time for me to ask the question I ask everybody. Maybe it's not so abstract to everybody, um, but I like to know where you feel your voice comes from. So for a lot of people, it's a spiritual thing, you know,
Mm.
you're channeling a higher power, or you're a messenger, or it's maybe a historical ancestral storytelling. Where do you feel that that voice that's writing your songs and performing your songs is coming from?
That's a great question. And I think some of the examples that you gave, I feel like I'm a mixture of many different things, including those things. So some of my first experiences with the blues were from church, and gospel blues, and hearing some of those influences. And so that could be a spiritual element, but as well, it is also a cultural component as well. As you know, this is the music of my ancestors from the African diaspora, but it also comes from an internal component because, growing up as a child, I was very, very shy, and music was the way that I can express myself and also communicate with other people. And so I feel like music taught me how to be myself. And so I discover myself within this music. And so, eh, you know, on one angle, it's kind of like, I don't know where it comes from. It just kind of is something that came to me, and I didn't discover this music. This music discovered me, and it took me along on this journey. And it's something that brings me so much joy. But on the other hand, I can also see where some of those influences came from and how I developed my sound as well.
Take command, take command. Don't rely on another man. Take command, take command. Don't rely on another man. Yes, I waited for you, yeah, I waited till my lips turned blue. I waited in vain. Now all I got is suffering pain. Take command, take command. Don't rely on another man. Take command, take command. Don't rely on another man.
These sort of like anthems that you write that are mostly just vocals, how do you piece those together? So are you doing most of those vocals, or are your bandmates also doubling them, joining you? How do those come to be?
On some of them, yes, I'm doing a lot of the vocals, but on some of them as well, it's my sisters joining along for the backing vocals as well.
Okay.
And thank you so much. I really appreciate your kind words about those interludes.
Well, it's beautiful. I mean, I think even in Long River, which is the title of the album that won the Juno Award, right?
Mm.
Um, the choruses maybe or parts of the song, the beds of the tracks are really just vocal chords, right? There's not really a lot of other instrumentation there, and they're kind of carrying the voice along, which is also a big part of the blues and roots sound. So I'm just loving that. I think it's beautiful. The harmonies are really um unexpected in a lot of cases. So I don't think a lot of people are doing that. So I think it's worth highlighting.
Long way out, long is the river that I dream about. Don't you run your mouth, I'll tell mama and she'll spit you out. Been lost a very long time, down this river is a house of mine. Down this river is a mama I love, long, long river that I'm dreaming of. Long, long river that I'm dreaming of. Long, long river that long, long river that long, long river that I'm dreaming of.
Where do your lyrics come from? Is it something that just comes to you while you're driving down the street, or do you have journal every day? Like, where do these lyrics come from? Because they've got some weight and they've got some wit too.
Thank you so much. So for the lyrics, yes, sometimes when I'm driving down the street, I actually do. I am inspired by different things. It's wonderful how much is going on in our world, and if you just stop to listen, how much you can be inspired by that, but realize that there's already a song out there that's just waiting for you to materialize it. So, you'll be driving down the street, the tires will bump on a rock in the road, creating a really cool rhythm. You're like, hey, I wonder if I just tap that out. And then all of a sudden, you're inspired by that rhythm to create a melody. And then, bam, you've got a song. So everything in the air around us, you can draw from to create a tune. But in the case of Long River, I was really inspired by just human connection, and how even though we may come from many different backgrounds, different walks of life, we're on different sides of the planet, we're all connected on the river of life together. We all share the same beginning, and we will all share the same end. And this song, throughout the different verses and the different key changes, talks about the perspective of a person at different stages of their life, as a daughter, as a mother, and as someone who's passing on to the afterlife, and the wishes that they have for their children and their journey as they travel along that same river. And so I was inspired by different aspects of the blues as well. And that was the analogy that ties together the Long River album, in that blues music is also like a river, flowing into the creation of the many different genres that we know and love today. But at its root, we have blues. And this also deals with some of the things that you were saying earlier on about the vocal harmonies and the way that I arrange the vocals. One of the things that I really wanted to highlight on Long River is just the earliest forms of blues that you would find in North America, the field hollers. Things that you would find on the plantation, in the Delta blues, all of those different things. And so we had like a modern twist on it with some of the songs, like Fear No Evil and Take Command. And Fear No Evil is kind of funny because we combine like 80s synth on top of it. So you have that modern twist. You can see the beginnings, the roots of where it came from, but then also where it can go in the future.
Fear no evil, fear no evil, fear no imitation is perception. Go and take your stand. And don't you make no sad exception. Go and take your stand. Fear no evil. Fear no evil. Fear no evil. Go and take your stand. Fear no evil. Fear no evil. Fear no evil. Go and take your stand.
How do you prepare for your live performance? You've got a big sing and a big powerful instrument as well. So what's your preparation like for live?
I don't always get the opportunity to do a full prep because sometimes, especially like shows where you are in a festival, there's like a 7-minute changeover between you and the band before. And so running around gets my voice plenty warmed up. But I perform a series of warm-ups. I'll often have tea. Peppermint is my favorite. Sometimes I'll add some lemon and honey. But then one of the things that's really helped me out is the preparation that I do before a show day. So I noticed that once I started playing harmonica, there were a series of breathing exercises that I did that really, really help with airflow and those really high belted extended notes. I think one of the things that helped me out the most was an exercise where you try to see how long you can inhale. And yeah, so most of people think, well, you're exhaling during these notes, but actually, if you can control how much of a internal like airflow that you can have, like just a simple see how long that you can breathe in, that really helps with expanding the lungs, air retention, and then you can kind of sneak in the breaths that you inhale so that you have more to exhale, and then you don't have to worry about taking as many pauses. And so when I'm playing an instrument and I'm playing harmonica, bass, dancing, and then singing at the same time, having that extended like lung capacity is really, really useful.
Really, really good advice. If you had to put one song in every show for your entire career, what would it be and why?
Oh my gosh, that's so hard.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
would
tough
not be able
question.
to choose. Oh no.
I
No, it's
know.
impossible because every set, like even if I go in with a set list, I'll take a look at the crowd and say, this
Mm.
audience seems like they would like this particular song, and then we'll just throw the whole set list out the window and jam the whole thing. So, no, that's impossible because I perform at like blues festivals, folk festivals, country festivals sometimes, hip hop festivals. Not every audience or every age group is going to like the same thing. Some audiences will dance and some just want to watch and listen. So I can't choose. That's too hard.
Well, I'll make it about you. What's the song that every time you play it, you just feel like that's the song, you know? Like I'm sure there's a bunch of them, but if there was one that you just would never tire of, what would it be?
Oh, I'm not sure. That's hard.
Or two?
I mean, I don't play it every show, but I have been playing it for a long time. Room to Breathe. It's not recorded.
Ah,
It's I have so many songs that aren't recorded, but I play them often in my shows. And actually, I think as a side note, that's the hardest part about putting an album together for me, choosing which songs go on the album. That's why this one, the last one that came out, it's really long. I probably won't do it again, but it's 15 songs.
yeah.
But you know, Room to Breathe is a really great tune because it showcases a lot of our influences as a band. As there's a lot of horns in our band, we're really inspired by New Orleans jazz and blues. And this is a feel-good tune that really gets the audience to be involved in the music making process. We invite them to sing and dance and clap and do a whole slew of things. And then it also showcases just some wonderful horn arrangements with from New Orleans. New Orleans inspired horn arrangements. And then I get to play harmonica in it. I play my upright bass, and it features some positive messaging as well about, you know, shedding the negative things from your life.
had any advice to share with singers, young singers, somebody starting out a career, or somebody just picking it up for fun at any age, really, what advice would you share with them?
I would say have fun and follow your heart, especially if you are an independent vocalist, singer, musician, songwriter. There are so many different avenues that you can take, and there'll be a lot of people who will come to you with the best intentions about a path that you should take. But if you feel like there is a path that's right for you, go ahead and take it. It may not pay off immediately, but in the long run, you'll have more control over what you do, and it'll be a true representation of your artistic intention and expression. And I think that can be such a powerful thing that can also inspire others as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much for being here. I think everybody's really going to enjoy and get a lot out of what you had to say today. So thank you.
Thank you so much.
And thank you for joining us for this interview with vocalist Angelique Francis. To learn more about Angelique, visit angeliquefrancis.net. And to hear more, click the link in the description box below for the title playlist inspired by today's episode. If you enjoyed La Voce Vita, please share it and subscribe to the Karen Myatt YouTube channel or visit karenmyatt.ca for more news and information. Follow us on social media and click the bell to be notified when we release a new episode. Finally, we want to hear from you. If you have a question, a suggestion, a request, or music to share, feel free to send us a note in the comments below or at karenmyatt.ca/message. Until next time, I'm Karen Myatt, and thanks for listening to La Voce Vita.